Welcome back, friends. I hope you had a wonderful break like I did. I've been kneeling on the ground for the last 2 hours because my cat took my chair and she deserves it. Anyways, here's a $25 donation from our friend Holly that says, Court's run of Glyph is how I found out about Frame Fatales. The community has been so awesome and welcoming. I've actually started learning some speedruns myself. Yet another thing I owe to Celeste. So many things I could say I owe to Celeste and the speedrunning community. Speaking of Fatales, you should mark your calendars because Frost Fatales 2023, GDQ's next all-women charity speedrunning event, is coming up February 26th through March 4th. That'll be here in no time. The Frame Fatales community will be raising money for charity and spotlighting the talented women in speedrunning. For more information about Frame Fatales, go to gamesdonequick.com/Frame Fatales or do !FF in the chat. If you're a woman interested in joining the Frame Fatales community, DM at Frame Fatales on Twitter or head to our website. Here is a $50 donation from Rin that says, Lena's music has been a great help in confronting myself. Here's to Lena as our file name for that climb on top of the Celeste Mountain. Trans rights did win in the end, but I also really wanted to talk about how amazing the Celeste soundtrack was. In fact, I was really surprised by how wonderful the music was for that custom map. I got to hear it a little bit when doing some research before the run, but now that I got to hear it some more, amazing work. I can't wait to listen to it all again later, actually. Here is a $25 donation from Kron GM that says, Celeste is still the epitome of 2D platforming, and watching this speedrun is a reminder of how fun it is to both watch and play it. And a $50 donation here from Back at 50 Feet. Nice. That says, EXOK is such a good company. Shout out to Extremely OK Games. Fantastic people supporting the speedrun scene. You love to hear it. You love to see it. Here is a $48 donation from Comet625. Wow, okay, this is what I have to match. Cool. Thank you so much to the GDQ staff for letting me show it into the jungle. My run had 16 deaths, which I've deemed too low for $2 per death, so I'm bumping it up to $3. Here's 48 big ones to stop cancer. You'll love to see it. Okay, we are ready. Let's, All right, maggots, listen up. It's time for boot camp. RuffledBricks is here to show you the way in Worms Armageddon. All missions any %. Here we go.
All right, let's do it. Okay, welcome, gang. This is Worms Armageddon. I am RuffledBricks. I'm joined on vocals by the wonderful Mablak.
Howdy, stoked to be here.
And yeah, we're going to take you through a all missions any % run of this game, which basically entails completing all 33 of the missions in the game in one sitting. We do also need to do the basic training beforehand, though, because if you try doing the missions at the top without doing that, you get this rather stern message telling you that you are under-practiced in that department. So we're going to do basic training, but before we do, I believe we have a couple of incentives that we need to sort out. So firstly, I need to know what the name of our team is going to be.
Your team name is going to be capital LF uncaps, so lowercase VE and caps R. That is $525.01.
Nicely done.
That bit word.
LFVER. Any lore behind that name, or should I just not ask any questions?
Never ask questions.
Never ask questions. Okay, all of the names have been provided by other runners at GDQ this year, so thank you very much to them. And the other incentive that I need to check is what is our voice pack going to be?
With a lovely $834, which is almost $500 above the next one, we've got Angry Scots.
It's always Angry Scots. No one seems to be able to resist an Angry Scot. Okay, right. So I am just going to hit tab twice, which will enable me to basically just spam through the menus on this game. And then I'm going to do basic training. Mablak is going to do most of the commentary for this bit. And I'm going to start things off in 3, 2, 1.
All right, so basic training. Our first basic training is grenade training. We just have to hit 2 targets. And with grenades, you can set the fuse on those things from 1 to 5 seconds. And immediately we're on to shotgun training. So Ruffled is just going Terminator on these targets. They appear in the same order every time. And you can really get a routine down. So the final target, he actually shoots through his own girder just to save a little time, which is pretty cool. And so we're on to bazooka now. So bazooka is one of the few weapons that's affected by wind. You can see a little wind bar in the lower right corner. And we have some rope training. So ninja rope, just one of the best weapons / utilities of all time. Really nice grab. He was going like full speed there. He just needs to collect that crate, get a bat the target. So we're on to grenade training too. And we just have 3 targets, so he's just blasting those things really fast. Nicely done. And we're on to fire punch training. So this one, we start with just 1 fire punch. We have to collect this crate, which contains 2 fire punches. This is just showing you can fire punch in midair, defying all manner of physics. And one thing you'll notice that RuffledBricks is doing, so the screen will start to go black, and he's pressing Alt F4 the moment that happens. This is known as fade skip. So this applies to missions and training. Anytime the screen starts to fade out, we can exit immediately and it still gives us the win. It's fantastic.
We have a weird little one on this one where the fade comes in slightly later for some reason, but
You do have to watch it because there are things like instant replays, and those will also have a little fade out. So if you're not careful, you will just exit the game.
Okay, last training.
Last training. He cleared the bazooka training, showing that the zook can glide along the water.
Oh, nice.
Very nice. Amazing. So he hit a target that was off screen just instantly. So we're done with the training and we're on to the actual missions.
Yeah, so this first one, pumpkin problems. Pretty simple. Object is to grab a crate from the bottom right of the map. What I'm going to do here is I'm just dropping my worm onto that mine there because it just gives us a little shortcut through to get to the mine. We tank some damage. The enemy gets a turn here, but they don't do anything, so it's pretty quick. And then we just go back, grab the crate, and that's this one over. Next one. Mablak, do you want to explain what's going on here?
Okay, Operation Market Garden. So this is a kill 'em all mission. We have 4 worms in the center of the map. We just have to kill them all. And we're doing a couple turns that seem very mysterious and weird. We're just doing some black magic here. So immediately he throws a grenade down. He does a couple back jumps and boosts his worm over to these 4 enemy worms in the middle. You'll see the CPU is in blue, we're in red. So the CPU will always do this shot on our worm. And 2 of the CPU worms are bunched together now. And Ruffle did another move really quickly on turn 2, all so that we can get this bait shot. So the CPU takes a pot shot at us, they miss, they hit themselves, and they form a pile of 4 worms. And now that all the 4 worms are piled, Ruffle is just doing this grenade shot, which will kill them every time.
And I used the blowtorch aim as well, just before I set up the grenade there, because blowtorch only aims at 3 specific angles, and it just turns out that coincidentally the top angle of the blowtorch will give you exactly the shot that you need for the grenade. So you can consistently 100% bang this mission out in 3 turns.
It's very swag. I like that little touch you added. Yeah. Awesome. So we're on to All Quiet in the Library, mission 3. So Ruffled is resetting the mission 4 times. We have to start this one on the 5th attempt so that the game will toss us a pity crate, not to be confused with like a mercy crate.
2 pity crates.
Yeah. So the pity crate that we get specifically is this one. It's falling on Uncle Reggie. we don't actually need the contents of the crate. We just need to bounce that captain worm off the crate and into the other 2 grenadier worms.
Yeah, so I'm going to line up a baseball bat shot here, just deflect it so that the captain goes off the grenadier, and then we actually do collect this crate. We do use the contents of this crate because it gives us an extra baseball bat, which we're going to use on the next turn. But yeah, for that specific move there, it's just there as a deflective surface.
It's like, right. We have to avoid collecting the crate until we actually bat the worm off of it.
And I've placed Reggie and Phoenix together here because that basically manipulates the grenadier into throwing the grenade to the left, which is hopefully, not guaranteed, but hopefully going to make the next move slightly more consistent. We want this field soldier in the middle to go as far to the right as possible so that we can do a double damage airstrike on them. So a double damage crate is going to spawn on the left-hand side of the map. And if that, once we get to that, then that will ensure that the airstrike has enough power. If these 2 worms are close together, it's looking promising. He's gone up the book.
I think this is one of the good wins. So at this turn, a lot of bad things can happen, and it's really up to RNG. Okay, this is doable.
Yeah. So we should be able to do this in 3 turns here if we are all good. I just need to. It's sort of pixel specific. This airstrike that we're about to do, but let's see if we can get it. So we go. It's just last ninja rope here, and just swing it across, and then just need to get the right pixel. Oh, need to do this quickly because the camera yank. Oh, see, as you can see, the auto camera kind of yanks. I think I've got it slightly off, but we'll see.
That's good. There's just a tiny margin of error.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Okay.
Nicely done. That's like pretty optimal too. When they don't walk the whole way, that's actually a little faster, I think.
Right, I've switched on the background for the next mission.
Fantastic. So this mission, the premise of this one is that guard is, holding the world hostage, threatening to blow up the South Pole. So our strat here is just going to be oozing the crates above him, which sent him into the water. And we didn't quite get it. But
yeah, sorry, go on. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so like if you have the exact right timing, and there's like something like a 3-frame window to do it, you can get the same flame pattern every time and be sure that he's going to go in. If you just fire randomly, he's not going to do it. But that requires like a really precise timing to get. Luckily, if you don't get it, you can just jetpack over to him, flamethrower him into the water.
I think it's actually 2 frames. It's pretty unforgiving.
It's pretty small.
Yeah. So, but we'll be using the background for visual cues on a few missions in the game.
Yeah. Okay, so we're on to mission 5, do the locomotion, or yellow bungee choo-choo hell. So for this one,
why would you say that?
Yeah, so it's it is a bit hellish. We have to do this bungee fling on turn 2. So Ruffled has carved away the landscape so that we can do a bungee.
Slightly premature,
okay, nice.
But we got onto the train, so that's the main thing.
Right. No, that's nice. Anything that's on the train is like good. So the bungee is not a weapon that was meant to fling worms, but you can use it that way. It's only meant to actually get to lower spots. You're meant to like bungee from high up to lower spots, but with enough practice, you can actually fling your worm upwards using the bungee, and that gets us over here to this jetpack crate. We just need to collect this crate in the lower right, and the mission's over.
And what I did there, just to speed up going to the congratulations screen slightly quicker, is I did skip go at the end, which basically just ends your turn immediately. That sort of saves about, I think, maybe like 1 second, but it's just a nice little optimization that you can do.
Yeah. Okay, we're on to mission 6, Sand in Your Eye. For this one, we kind of get a free kill on the left side of the map. If we just set off this mine, it sets off another mine, which goes straight into another worm and kills them. And while that's happening, Ruffled is piling these 2 worms using bazooka.
Ooh, not sure about that configuration on those 2 worms there, but we'll try it. What I'm trying to do is so that bazooka, because you have to do it quite quick, because the automatic camera sort of tries to prioritize the field soldier on the left as they go into the water. And what we're trying to do is get those 2 sentries into a specific position next to the pyramid, where we can kill them off in one go on this turn. So we're going to use a longbow. This is similar to a shotgun, but we use it. It's 2 shots per turn, but it fires arrows rather than bullets. First one we're going to use to knock this field soldier down into the water, like so. As you can see, the mine sort of slows their trajectory a bit, but if you get the right angle, then they have enough momentum. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this second shot up using the camel's eye here, and then hopefully, if we get this right, I'm going to fire this mine down. Oh, I think we got it. Yes. Okay.
Got it.
Cool. So what happens there is if they're at the right angle, then the mine will bounce off them in a way that then the mine blows them up. It knocks them both onto the first aid crate there. One of the worms dies, and their grave damage basically blows up the health crate, which causes enough damage to the other one to kill them as well.
Yeah, it's very hard to get. I also like that you can, like, you know, adjust your angle based on the camel's eye. It's like Team 17 knew, you know. That's why they put the camel there.
What we call a terrain marker. Like sometimes with some of these shots, because a lot of them are pretty pixel perfect. So what we'll be doing is using like just little visual cues like that. And then Mablak, do you want to explain this move?
So here we have a rope knock. And so the interesting thing about rope knocking is when you just send your worm off of rope, knock into another worm to kill them. Very nicely done. So in the missions, you can't actually rope knock normally. It's you can only do it after your retreat time is up. Otherwise, you'll just phase through those worms. So you have to have a very specific timing for it.
Okay, one of the hardest tricks in the game I'm going to try and do here. So Mablak.
So for Not Mushroom out here, on this mission, all we have is rope and girder, and we have to collect the crate on the far right side of the map. Let's see, you didn't get it in one turn. This is extremely hard to do in one turn. You can rope all the way across the map and get it in one go. Luckily, even if you don't get it, you can still walk to that crate. And it's very difficult because you have just hardly any retreat time at all.
5 seconds, basically.
Yeah.
Like, so, and then when the retreat time ends, you lose control of your worm. So if you're like in the wrong position, then you end up in the water or something. So
yeah, nicely tried. I like the ballsiness of that attempt.
as I say, I put that girder in the bottom right-hand corner because that just gives you a little safety sort of backup if that fails. But
so we're on to Big Shot, and you'll notice that Ruffled, his worm is jittering a little bit as he walks, and this is called skip walking. So your worm has a slow part of its walk cycle and then a fast part of its walk cycle, because, you know, a worm is like wriggling. So if you just right-click during the slow part of the walk cycle, it'll skip it, and you have to sort of right-click rhythmically to do this, or you can use the arrow keys. So it'll skip the slow part of the walk cycle, leaving you with only the fast part. So you can walk just a little bit faster. It's really cool.
yeah, so what we just did here, to kill these 2 worms off at the bottom, we use a longbow. Longbow only does 15 damage from contact. So we basically just shot both of those worms into nearby mines. And speaking of mines, I've stood in a position here that manipulates this sentry into moving to the left, so that they are now stood between next to that mine there. They've just decreased this frog's vision quite significantly, so rip frog. And now what I'm going to do is hit that mine there, so that takes some damage on the sentry, then hit the other mine, which they land by, and that basically the combined damage is going to kill that sentry off, but it's not going to... damn it. It's not going to count that until the turn is over. So then what I was going to do was we were going to swing across to the crate on the left there and grab that, as that contains an old woman, which we would have used to fire that up. Unfortunately, I just slightly messed up the rope there. We might be dead here because he's going to use a minigun, which can do 100 damage.
I'm going to get you.
88. Okay, right. That's workable. So we need to get all 50 damage from this Uzi.
Yeah, slightly BL here, but yeah, we got it.
There we go. Yeah, had to YOLO the end there just because of the rope mishap, but...
Yeah, not much of a time loss, really.
No.
All right, so we're on to mission 9, Water Surprise. This is one of those missions I think a lot of people will remember as being just absolutely hellish. There's mines on top of this Eiffel Tower. We have to get to the top to reach this crate. And so that means we have to clear the mines. If you just shoot at them normally, they're going to fly back at you and just like hit you. So with this very careful shot, he can hit that second mine and it'll hit his worms, but he knows that they'll still live.
Yeah, mommy's boy.
Yeah, it was Psychotropic who came up with that strat there.
Yeah, props to Psych.
Yeah, now, right, we're going to try and get this girder right. I think that's it. We'll see. Basically, so to be able to kill the general off, because that's the aim of this mission, we need to scale the Eiffel Tower and grab this crate, which contains an aqua sheep. Now, in order to do this as efficiently as possible, we're using this one girder as a deflective surface so that we can backflip our way up. I'm looking at it now. It looks like it might be a little narrow. No, we can get up. Okay, that's fine. But let's see if we can get up.
This is extremely tight, so you can scale this Eiffel Tower with just one girder. Okay, he got it.
Yeah, and then if you want to explain the aqua sheep.
So we're not actually flying the aqua sheep all the way around, which was the intended way to do it. We're just immediately releasing it, and it detonated above the land and hit the general through the land.
Yeah. It's got a nice big hitbox, the sheep explosion, so...
Yeah, even though the land is indestructible, we can still get the blast through there. So we're on to Jurassic Worm. And immediately, we just have to kill a general worm at the bottom of this dinosaur here. So Ruffled has released a mole bomb, and at the same time, he set off a mine that launches another mine down the mole hole, killing the captain, and all the other worms surrender. They're just like, this is too much.
It's a specific worm, Mablak, not a general worm. Come on, keep up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a kill the leader mission. There's three of those in the game, and those are probably some of the most fun strats for the most part.
Yeah, just go so fast.
Yeah.
And we're on to Chemical Warfare, Mission 11. This one is a bit hairy because the land is indestructible. We can't blast through it. All the worms are like inside just these little cavernous areas, so we have to be very careful about how we get to them. We can only hit them using things like Fire Punch or Dynamite, and Ruffle did have to reset the mission one time to get a Dynamite crate, which we'll be using towards the end.
What I did there is I jumped as I did the Fire Punch there, which cancels out the animation for the Fire Punch. But what I also did, because the Major there took some damage from the mine, I tried to get the Fire Punch in within the half second before the game tries to count up the damage on the right-hand worm. I managed it, so that means that you save just a few seconds there because all the damage on the field is counted at once. Right, I was slightly early on that Fire Punch there just to be on the safe side, because if you're late on that one, you miss it, it's pretty much a reset. Ideally, you want to land so that you don't take fall damage there, but I'd rather take the fall damage than have to reset this mission.
Yeah, the Fire Punch is like, it's almost unnecessarily hard because we could just use Shotgun or something, but yeah. I don't know, it's cool to get.
Yeah. Anyway, all this is basically just to manipulate this Major in the middle to walk to the right so that we can get a Dynamite on them in a moment. But while we're doing that, there's not a huge amount of interest going on apart from the baseball bat's ginormous hitbox. So if there's a donation you want to read out, this would be a good time.
Alrighty, then here is $48 from Court. That's Frozen Flygon. Hi, this is Comet's Deaths ×3 as promised. Thanks to Comet for having me as a commentator, and Zen for being an awesome host and friend. Fergie, make sure to hold me to that, chat. I owe $48 after this lovely shift. I can't do it right now, though.
Awesome, thank you very much. Right, so this Dynamite here, we only got this from a crate at the beginning that came as a result of resetting the mission once before we started it, but it's the easiest way of dealing with those two Majors. Field Soldier in the middle, you may notice during the donation, did get knocked onto a mine by a loose flame from the airstrike. And sometimes you can get a free kill on the field soldier from the airstrike. It's very rare though, so
Yeah, we were so close.
yes. Oh, set the mine off there as well. That was accidental, but it's fine. It has like I think a 1 second or 1.5 second fuse, so we're good. I'm using a minigun there, which is a bit excessive for 21 health, but minigun is, I think, the most powerful gun weapon in the game. It can do up to 100 if used at point blank range.
Yeah, nice pace on that one. So we're on to No Substitute, the first appearance of one of the most recognizable weapons in the game.
Oh yeah. Sing along if you know the words, chat. Or if you know the words. It is the Holy Hand Grenade. What we're going to do here is I am going to get a specific position here. Drop the Holy Hand Grenade and then jump back and then jump onto the Holy Hand Grenade. That is going to launch my worm here, Phoenix, onto the field soldier here, knocking them into the water. It has also launched the artillery on top of the palm tree there, and because artillery has taken a fatal amount of damage from the Lord, the grave damage then knocks the field soldier off the palm tree into the water. So we get a triple kill there, or as I like to call it, the Holy Trinity.
Ooh, it's so good.
Yeah, we got another Holy Trinity coming up later as well. So look out for that. Ooh! Oh, gosh. We almost got a self-kill from Field Soldier there, which is rare, but a nice little time save if that happens, but... Okay. And then what we're going to do, just to finish this mission off, is we get 2 shots from the shotgun. So I'm using first shot there just to knock the Field Soldier down. Then having to time this jump right from the edge there, because you may have noticed the water is raising ever so slightly in between each turn. So it's just jumping across there to the majors. Jumping, like many games, is quicker than walking. And then just using the second shot to knock that worm in.
Great. And yeah, with the Holy Hand Grenade move, it's really getting into what some people have described as the run being a violent Rube Goldberg machine. We're just knocking worms into each other. So we're on to who left the floodgates open. And Ruffled has to start this one by selecting the left worm and doing a precise series of jumps to get onto this green barrel. If he doesn't do these pixel perfect jumps, he just can't make it. And he's firing a 3-second max bounce grenade. So you'll notice it knocks that right secret agent worm down, and it sends a mine to the left, which also knocks this secret agent. They're all on the right side of the map, and the water is going to be rising each turn. So those worms are eventually going to drown.
Yeah, we've knocked him into what we call the drowning threshold. And then we've left Phoenix down there as bait because what it does is it manipulates this field soldier into walking down to where the other tomb worms are, meaning that all 3 of them are now in the drowning threshold and they are pretty much dead. The AI is actually programmed to teleport out of danger when it detects the water level rising nearby, but because field soldier started high enough up, it sort of missed that. And also the enemy worms, you may notice if you pay attention in this run, have a rightward bias in the way that they walk, so you can always guarantee the field soldier will walk down there. Now this is where the RNG section of the mission starts coming in. So this secret agent can do one of a number of things on this turn. Is skip go, which is one of the better outcomes. Sometimes they can do a nasty teleport, which it can be a nasty teleport. Sometimes it can be a nice teleport, but sometimes they can teleport like over to this side of the
They can teleport like into land and you can't even get to them.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
I think on my most recent PB they teleported underneath the cables and I had to I had to try and deal with that, which was annoying, but
oh god. Even this left guy can teleport, but he'll basically always do a Zook shot of some kind.
Yeah.
And he opened up, which is what we want.
Yes, exactly. So now
we have access to both worms, and it's still a bit tough, but at this point it's a little bit improv. A lot of things can happen here depending on how that worm opens, but Ruffled's gonna pile these 2 worms, and then hopefully we'll be able to kill in like 1 more turn.
Yeah, so I'm going to see what kind of outcome we get as a result of this next longbow. Ideally, I think I want to go for a minigun, but... Okay, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to stand on the secret agent's combined head here because Hopefully that should stop them from moving. It might result in a teleport, but usually it results in a skip go. Oh, or a kind of waste bazooka like this one that we just got. So that's good. Like
Okay, nice.
The AI
looks
will
pretty
always
optimal.
the AI will always try and do a move if they can. Like that's the main thing to note about the AI on this game. Is they don't want to skip go. They like always want to try and do something. So here we are with the
Okay, it's
minigun
looking
and yeah, double plop. There we go.
Nice. This one is a very scary mission, especially if one of those worms survives at the end there, because they'll just teleport somewhere randomly.
Yes.
So that was really optimal.
Don't know who Sniper 2 is, but thank you for adding me to your to the friends list. Right, Super Sheep to the rescue.
For this one, we just have to fly a super sheep through this little cavernous area and collect a crate. And Ruffled Skip, he restarted the mission one time so that we would get that pity crate, not to be confused with a mercy crate, in the lower left corner of the map. And that just makes it a little easier to get to. It contains a fire punch. He just fire punches that worm.
Yeah, this one you used to be able to cheese when this game first came out, because if you blew up the Super Sheep right where you stood, then the game would still count that as a win because they didn't care if your worm survived. But that got patched out, so survival is part of the win condition on that mission.
Unfortunately.
It's pretty rare though. Like most missions, you don't need to survive to win.
So we're on to Hot Stuff, mission 15. For this one, we have a holy hand grenade and we have a double damage crate. So a lot of destruction is incoming here. So we're going to lay a holy hand grenade. You'll see what happens. And right now, Ruffled is getting himself to a really precise spot. We actually have to reset our sub-pixel position to get in place here.
It's actually the quarter pixel position, which is a weird thing. Quarter pixels are kind of odd in this one because like you can't really see them, so you have to like just know what you're doing. But what happened there? Huge explosion from the holy hand grenade. It killed the bottom two and it blew my worm next to the one at the top there, so the grave damage knocked them in. Can everyone please stop adding me to their Steam friend list? I don't know why that is visible on there, but stop it!
Dude, more friends. Come on.
Yeah, all right. Let's just show up how popular I am. Okay, Trouble in Mount Wormmore.
Okay, so this one is pretty straightforward. We just have to rope over these worms of high prestige, even though they're just basic soldiers. On this mountain, we kamikaze straight down. We just have to kill the general worm at the bottom, and that's it. It's just a kill the leader mission.
If anyone knows how to stop those Steam things from coming up on here, please do let me know, because... Oh, I think I'm one research short there.
Okay, so we're on to Chateau Assassin. This is another one that I'm sure has driven many people just completely nuts because we have to get to the far right worm on the far right side of the map, and you really don't have much in the way of weapons. You have to traverse these chateaus, and they're just lined with mines that will explode the moment you get near them. So we have a really nice way to sort of cheese this. The first part of that is that we reset the mission 4 times and start on the 5th attempt. That gives us a low gravity crate, which we need. And low gravity just, it cuts the gravity in half basically and lets you do bigger and longer jumps. So for turn 1, Ruffled is positioning one of his worms on top of this oil barrel. And you'll see he got up there by using his worms as just a step ladder. That part is an intended part of the mission. This next part, not so much.
Well, maybe it was. We'll never find out.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, so you guys can judge once you see it.
Yeah. So what we're doing
Just tell
here
us.
is we've grabbed ourselves a fire punch crate. We've switched to this worm, and then we're doing a fire punch on the oil drum there, which will launch you video all the way up to the general, hitting the mine, knocking them into the water. We get, I think that was 3 skims on there, which we never get any more than 3, unfortunately. But the major, as you can see, just surrenders immediately from our superior prowess. And
It's beautiful. I think that's my favorite technique, probably.
it's definitely one of my favorites, yeah. Right, rescue agent Dennis. Hello. Yes. Yes, I've paused quickly.
Alrighty, chat, with the intervention of tech, we have fixed some things in the background here. We're ready for more Worms Armageddon. Let's not troll people anymore. We appreciate friendship percent in this world, but not right now. Anyways, more worms coming right at you. Here we go.
All right, so let's carry on. 3, 2, 1, go. So, what's this mission about again, Mablak? Oh,
Nobody knows.
Oh,
It's Rescue Agent Dennis.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, so you are one worm pitted against many, many CPU worms, and you are, you're a monster of a worm. You're a secret agent, and apparently you are Agent Dennis, the one that needs to be rescued. We're not sure, but whatever the case, you have to take out all these worms. It's another kill 'em all. Oh, very nice.
Yeah, so we got the napalm strike there. Basically, for that napalm strike, you have to wait for the wind to be going to the right. It doesn't have to be like as sort of strong as it was on that turn, but you basically just wanted to kill off the 2 worms on the left side of the M. But we got the 3rd one as well, which makes the next move slightly less pressure. What we're going to do with the field soldier up here is we're going to use a homing missile to knock them into the water. And usually this would be fairly pixel specific to ensure that we get a double kill there, but because the other worm has gone into the water now, then we don't really need to worry about it that much. Nonetheless, I went with the same pixel anyway, and they've gone in. And then
this takes place at the Team 17 offices.
Oh yes, yeah, they are this big. They have this many windows. Like the CEO's room has been blown up here, unfortunately. That's rip Team 17. And then this bit here is a banana trick we're going to do. Banana bomb, another favourite weapon of many wormers. And what a banana trick is basically, it's also known as a cluster trick because you can do it with a cluster bomb. What you do is the banana bomb, when it blows up, it sends several other bananas out into the air, all of which explode. But if you basically just move 1 pixel up the side of a worm and then drop the banana underneath you, your worm absorbs all of the explosions from the bananas, which causes this mega explosion, which basically can do huge damage, as you've seen. And because
it's a potassium overdose.
Yes, and because winning is not a condition of many of the missions, including one called Rescue Agent Dennis, then we actually we managed to get through with a win.
Yeah, ties are fine in this, except for like a couple missions.
Okay, so this one's called Horny Nuke. This is, I guess you'd call it a shopper mission, kind of, in that you start with very few weapons, just an Uzi, so you need to grab some crates to bolster up your arsenal. And basically, like this, with this one, we only need 4 crates. We've got 3 of them so far. I was going for the 4th one, which is a banana bomb, and I slightly messed up the roping there, but nothing too serious. So. And then just throwing a grenade down there into... You'll notice the first grenade we used to knock the 2 snipers down into that pit there, and then the second grenade there, we threw that down just so that we get this double kill on them.
This mission really showcases the importance of like piling worms. It's a big tactic in worms, like you just blast worms into each other, then when they're all grouped together, you can take them out way more easily.
Yeah, also, this mission has a weird sort of briefing to it because there's a crate in the bottom left, which contains a nuclear test. That's a weird configuration there. I think we might be in trouble here. I'm wondering if I should reset. What's this guard going to do? Yeah, I think that's a reset because they're too far apart from each other there. So basically, like, we need to pile them all together in order to get like a banana trick on them at the end. And
yeah, this one has some RNG with the banana trick. Like, I do it in a way that's super risky and runs the risk of blowing up the crate, which loses you the mission. And doing it this way is also potentially risky. The guard can walk to the right. The worms can get separated. So this one is very thorny.
Yeah,
I would call it thorny.
That crate that I was talking about, the one in the bottom left with the red halo around it, like you're sort of supposed to grab it, but it doesn't actually trigger the end of the mission. Just killing all the enemy worms does. But if you blow up the crate before the mission is over, then that's a fail. So
when in doubt, kill the enemy worms.
Yeah,
that's the lesson.
So anyway, we're going to, because we were doing this for a second time, we just need to catch up with where we were. So if there's maybe 1 or 2 donations you want to read out, Xenadir, now would be a good time to do so.
All Alrighty then, here's $33.33 from Goldkin with the message, I'd be remiss if I didn't donate for my favorite multiplayer game as a kid, Worms Armageddon. I spent many late nights playing online on my predecessor to a 56K modem, learning how to ninja rope and make crazy grenade shots in BNG, and having a blast making maps. Thanks to the devs for making this fantastic game, to the community for helping me learn the best trick shots, and to RuffledBricks for the run, less than 3.
Go for one more.
Alrighty, then here's a $5 donation from Michael that says, I am in complete shock. As a kid playing these missions I thought were impossible, RuffledBricks makes it look like a walk in the park. I am watching this while being in complete disbelief with my jaw dropped.
Yeah, it is a walk in the park if you take like 2 years to to walk through the park. But no, actually, it's kind of like a lot of these shots are just kind of scripted ones. So it's just about like learning how to do what we call notching. Basically, you find like the specific angle. Like with that holy hand grenade shot, for example, we had a specific terrain marker for that again. Didn't quite get the one shot on that one, sadly. The artillery there, you can get a full 100 health kill on them on some occasions, but it's slightly RNG dependent.
Oh, you got robbed. 1 HP.
Yeah, we like to call that the flake in the in the business when we do 99 damage. I'm having to add a couple of extra turns here just to ensure both that the Grenadier is in the right position for the banana trick and that the artillery is killed off there. I think they might skip go here. Yeah, that's it. Weird.
Nice.
Weird thing with the CPU is when they're stood on a crate like that, rather than actually collect it. I think the AI doesn't realise they're doing that, so they'll just sort of skip go a lot of the time. All right, here we go.
Then occasionally they'll collect it and not realize they collected it, and then just idle for the rest of the turn.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's that. Yeah, if it's an artillery one, because there is a nasty sort of like, not really a soft lock because it doesn't stop the entire game from happening, but for the turn that artillery takes, if they end up collecting a crate of any kind, then they will just stand still for the rest of their turn. So you end up locking the AI. Anyway, that one's...
they do that.
Yeah, that one's done.
Okay, nicely done. So Horny Nuke, that one is one of the longer and tougher ones, I would say. We're on to Rumble in the Farmyard. This one has some pretty interesting techniques. There's a nice fling that we're going to see. And on turn 1, Ruffled starts by just shooting a Zook. It hits a mine that launches into Field Soldier. It doesn't seem to do much to Field Soldier, but it's setting up a future move. So we're going to pile those 2 Field Soldiers on the right into each other.
I'm gonna get you. Yes, sir.
You can keep talking.
Okay. Just gonna be
Gotta try it again. We'll try it again. Like, basically what we're trying to do there, we call it a rope fling. We need to rope across to the left-hand side of the map, and that's usually the quickest way, but you have to get the angle right.
Yeah, this fling is pretty hard to do. If you don't get it, it's kind of faster to just reset the mission. I think, honestly, like, it seemed like you had it that time.
I think the angle was a bit too far on the fling, but like it's fine. These bazooka shots, by the way, we kind of want to get these because we want our health to be a certain level for GL Phoenix.
Yeah, that worm. So yeah, we actually want that worm to be a little bit damaged.
There we go.
Beautiful. That fling is really hard, and there's you can actually do that fling a slightly easier way. You're doing it like the hardest way.
You never
really
told me that.
What? I mean, you can you can attach a little bit like lower into the right, like maybe a little less power. Wait. But I don't know. I mean, you're getting that all the time.
Mablak does most of the really cool routing for this game, and every now and then he lets slip just little things that he's decided to keep for himself. So I can't divulge it all. No, exactly.
There's got to be some mystery remaining.
Okay, so another quarter pixel manipulation here with that jump of Field Soldier, and that is going to enable us to do this pixel specific shot here where we used the bazooka to knock the field soldier and myself through the hole that we created earlier. Phoenix does the grave damage on these two worms. One of them dies from that grave damage, and then the other one is going to die from the field soldier's grave damage.
Nice. So yeah, that shot, if you just try to pull that shot off, just like walk up to the worm and do it, because the bazooka, like the trajectories you get are very pixel dependent, like they're sub-pixel dependent, you're just not going to get it. So that's why we have to do that little jumping routine before we even do the shot. It just gets us into the exact same position every time.
Okay, I'm a little bit worried about this cluster trick here. So the cluster trick, same as the banana trick, but just with a cluster bomb, which isn't as strong. We got it though, that's fine.
All right.
Yeah, ideally what you want is the captain to stand on the side of artillery's heads so that just at an angle so that you can throw the cluster bomb underneath them and you don't have to actually take a def yourself. We didn't quite get that configuration this time though, so I had to have my worm involved as well, which, given that that's the last worm in that mission, if that cluster trick doesn't get the double kill, then you're back to square one. But
yeah, nicely done on that one. So we're on to Wooden Ambush, mission 21. And there's a bunch of crates we can collect on top. We have a bunch of jetpacks in this mission. And the 4 enemy worms that we have to kill, they're all sequestered away in these little spots. The left 2 worms will actually sort of dig for us. They'll create a hole that we can just get into. So we don't have to worry so much about them. The 2 on the right that Ruffled attacked with a sheep, those are kind of a little more annoying. So the sheep was sort of the first shot, and then ideally we're going to finish him off with a grenade.
yeah, and we've got a little manip happening on the left-hand side as well. I don't know if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, so on the left-hand side...
that's unfortunate.
Oh, I didn't quite get it.
Didn't get either of them. That's rare. So what I did, I placed... we'll go back to that in a moment. Basically, I placed Phoenix to the left just in case this happened. I still don't know if that's going to help because the wind is to the left here. But sometimes they can survive this, and... Okay, right. We're having to do backup strats here. Because we need a hole down to get down there if that happens, and they haven't made one. So what I'm going to do is going to go for the mine push. Oh, and the mine push failed as well. This is a disaster.
Okay, bit of bad luck here.
Yeah, all right, it's fine.
We'll get it.
Yeah, so the mine push there is a sort of backup strat to get through to those field soldiers. Because what you'd normally do is you'd leave Kirby Master in place. And assuming the right-hand side of the mission went okay, they would just keep firing bazookas to the left until you had a tunnel to get through. Right, okay, that's fine. We can now get down to them, so that's fine. However, if that doesn't happen, you can do the mine push, but unfortunately the mine it can be slightly hard to push. It can roll out of the way unceremoniously. So anyway, we are down now, so I'm just trying to think. I think a grenade would probably be best for this.
Yeah, grenade should be fine.
There we go. And then what have we got? I got two worms left. The good thing about this mission is you get a quite generous supply of jetpacks. So if things do go off piste like they have here, then you do have backups, which is nice. Shotgun, that's rare.
Yeah, it's a new one.
I mean, to be honest, everything that's just happened here is quite rare. So.
Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate, but we can still make it through.
Yeah.
And so this next shot is really cool. So Ruffled's going to lay a grenade and immediately walk right. So he's going to blast himself into these worms and just take out both of them. So he creates the hole with a grenade, blasts himself into the worms. They all go into the water, and he gets a double kill.
Okay, right. We're going to have quiet on the tee for this one, just for the first move, because this is very tough. This mission is called Go Bananas. I'm going for a fairly frame-specific trick here. And we got it first try.
First try.
Excellent.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, basically what we try to do there is the object of this mission is to grab that crate on the right. You don't get a great deal of movement apparatus in this, apart from a low gravity, which takes 5 turns to materialize. So what I did there is I basically dropped a grenade at my worm's foot or tail, if you will, and then you have to time the jump there so that you jump just as the grenade explodes. and that will launch you all the way over the banana so that you can then get to the crate.
Yeah, it's sort of a damage boost. That one is really hard to get on the first try. Oftentimes it takes like 2 or 3 tries to get, and on some days you just can't get it. It's very fickle. So we're on to the drop zone. And on this one, we have a bunch of worms on the left side of the map that we all have to kill. And for this first shotgun shot that Ruffled is doing, so notice how he shot the worm into the mine. So that has to be timed very precisely. And we actually time it on the whole second, because the way the mines work, they detect worms once every 10 frames. So if you don't hit the worm in the exact right frame, then the mine just won't activate, or the worm just won't go into that other mine.
It's a little more generous than that. I think Dead Code said it's like 7 out of every 10 frames you can get that right, but
yeah, if you're just shooting randomly.
But in terms of if you in terms of timing it specifically, like we try and do it on the second so that it works out.
So we got a quad kill on, or was it a triple kill?
Quad.
So okay. So you got the quad on the first one, and on the last turn he ended by doing a jump knock into one of the worms. And so now we're aiming to some precise positions to get those last 2 worms. He got them first try, nicely done. Those shots are a little bit scary. If you miss, like you're out of shotgun, it's terrible.
Right. Okay. So I'm using the background for a manipulation on this first one. Which Mablak found, although I don't know if you used the star strat for this yet, Mablak.
Yeah.
I don't know if we talked about this one yet, but...
Yeah. So we see those little stars whizzing by in the background, and that's if you have the full background enabled. So that can allow you to do these specific timings. If you do the same timings on your shots every turn, then you can actually get the same outcomes from the CPU. And we kind of did that just there so that that first worm walks right and shoots at our worm, but doesn't knock that major worm out of position.
Yeah.
So we got the manip.
Yeah, this mission is called Countdown to Armageddon. The object of this mission is there is a politician in the center of the map here, an NPC. You can tell they're a politician because of the hat. And
Classic politician hat.
yeah, and the object of this mission, it's got quite a lot of plot in this one. You're supposed to save it not just from the enemy worms, but also from the end of the world. Because if you wait 8 turns, then a meteor shower occurs, which you have to shelter the politician from. That's part of the base strat for this mission. But actually what we're doing is we're just going to kill off all the enemy worms before the meteor shower even arrives.
Once again, when in doubt, just kill all the worms.
Yeah, that's the way of completing most of the missions in this game.
And so Ruffled has piled basically all the worms on the map, and there's a lot, into this central pile here. So now we're going to bat them into the artillery worm. And if we get it right, we can actually end it right here with a big death chain of grave animations.
Ooh, looking good, looking good. All right, let's see what happens here. Ones on the left are looking a little... Yeah, artillery survived. That's a shame. That's a shame. It's all right. It's fine. It's not too hard to clean that up, although I am out of ninja ropes, so that will take it a little bit longer. I could YOLO a grenade shot, but I don't have any specific...
Shotgun, maybe? Yeah, I guess I usually use shotgun, but... Yeah, for that last death chain of grave animations, it's pretty much impossible to control it. Sometimes all the worms will die. Sometimes there's like an escapee or two. So it's just one of those, like, shoot, bat and pray.
Yeah. Okay, right. So easy enough now. Just one shot on artillery's head. We're not going to get him in the water, which is a shame. But because basically with this game, you kind of want to do as many of your kills as plops, getting them in the water rather than on land, because the animation is much quicker. But here's a short mission. This one, Mars Star.
So from our start, this is like the only mission, I think, where we can fire multiple weapons in the same turn.
Yeah.
And so we have some grenades and petrols. We're just going to use 2 grenades. And all we have to do is destroy that blinking crate on the right side of the map. So he tosses 2 grenades and at the same time lays a girder. The grenades create a hole, and then the second one destroys the crate. So that's it for that mission.
Yeah, it's very fast, but it's a fun strat, that one. I really like it.
It's really cool.
Oh, right, so this one's called Mad Cows. Not really much of a gimmick to this one, other than the fact that you just get 20 seconds per turn. Using a grenade to kill that worm off there, and then we're going to use a grenade to do a nice double with the major and the major on the right-hand side. But there's not really that much of interest to this mission apart from that. So while we set that move up, open it up for another donation, if there's any going.
Oh, there's so many that I'm never going to be able to get to, unfortunately. But here is $20 from Blip Blop. Good name. It says, Worms Armageddon brings back childhood memories. Incredible to see the missions I struggled so much with getting completely obliterated with ease.
Go for another.
$20 from Taylor that says, loved Worms Armageddon when I was a kid. A lot of these donations are mentioning the nostalgia of this game, so they're a big fan of you bringing it here.
It's still available on Steam, gang, as we've established this evening or this morning, wherever you're watching. But yeah, no.
Yeah, this game has been maintained and updated for the past like 15 to 20 years. It works like super well on modern systems. It's like very bug free. Like, and on Steam, it's you could say dirt cheap.
Yes.
Dirt worms. Okay.
Oh, because yeah, okay, I get it.
Yeah,
right. So yeah, now we're going to do a little trick called dynamite hatting. Basically, like when you place dynamite on top of a worm, there's several different pixel positions that you can do it in. And each pixel position will dictate which trajectory that the worms get sent off in. So we just put it on the furthest right pixel on their head there so that they go into the water. All right,
nicely
now,
had
this
it.
is a tough one. This is a new strat. Do you want to talk about this, Mablak?
Okay, bazooka on the rocks. So basically what we're trying to do on this one, and it may take a few resets, if we get this bazooka that Ruffled has to fire immediately and he has to aim it to a pixel precise spot. So he didn't quite get it there. Then what we're going to do is kill off the left worm here. We have 4 worms that we need to kill, and we're armed with only bazooka. It's a very cruel mission. It's one of the most evil missions, but we can actually cheese through it really fast if we can just get this one shot. But this is a new strat, and it takes a lot of practice. Oh, he got it.
I think this is it. I just need to see if we need 1 arrow left on the wind in the bottom right-hand corner. So, right, we got it. There we go.
Boom.
So as a result of that, what happens now is Captain here is going to fire a bazooka up to the top right. In doing so, they're going to hit that oil drum, which knocks both of the captains on the left here down onto this mine, getting a very nice double kill on them without us having to attack them ourselves.
It's a fantastic AI manip, and it's basically like we get 3 worms for the price of 1. And then on our next turn, all we have to do is just nudge this major into the mine, and we'll actually get the same wind every time, so we know exactly how to do this. Just drop off the barrel, shoot straight ahead.
I have found though that the frame detection on the mine can actually like go wrong on this one. So
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I don't skip walk across the oil drum anymore, because if you do that, then you can go fast enough that you get the wrong timing. So
interesting.
But yeah, should have. I'll let you know in the Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, stolen goods.
So this one we have rope, and we have the Microprose logo is basically the entirety of this map. So we have to rope underneath it. And we have some worms on top that we need to kill. There's basically only 1 crate that we're going to use to kill these worms, and it's a French sheep strike, which rains down flaming sheep onto the landscape.
Yeah, Microprose were the original publishers of the game, just in case anyone's thinking, oh, that text doesn't look as small as it says it does. Yeah, it's basically what we're going to do here. We're going to hope for RNG, because the sheep bounce around quite a lot when we drop them. So I'm also popping Uncle Reggie into a slightly better position here, just in case it doesn't go well. But
Okay, now we pray.
try to get the pixel. It's not good. There we go. Okay, so so 2 sheep went over to the field soldier on the right. That's usually the one who survives. So we'll see.
First blood of war.
Oh,
Full house. There we go.
you got it. Oh my gosh.
That's pretty rare that you get all of them just with the sheep strike. But
That's pretty rare. It's totally down to luck. Like we just can't really control it. A lot of times, like one worm will survive. But yeah, if you get all 4, that's like a huge time save.
because you don't get many other weapons to deal with it otherwise. But yeah, we do usually expect to do a little bit of cleanup on that one afterwards.
Yeah, so now we're on to Sinking Ice Cap. This one's interesting because we have some worms to kill across the map, and all we have is like rope and blowtorch. And blowtorch is, for the most part, not an offensive weapon, but we do have to use it to kill these worms. So he kills that left assassin worm, and he does a specific series of jumps to get on this assassin worm's head. And now let's look at what he does. He calls an airstrike, and in the midst of calling that airstrike, our worm phases through the assassin and triggers a mine, killing him, but we survive. So by calling that airstrike, he doomed himself, basically.
Yeah, a worm cannot do a move while another worm's on their head without the worm falling off. So
Yeah, it's just basic physics.
yeah. Now we have 13 HP, which is a little more than I would like at this point. Ideally, you want less than 8 for the end of this mission, but it's still not a problem. What we would do if we had less than 8 is we would end that turn by jumping down onto the assassin, because that would kill our worm off and the grave damage would kill them. Instead, we're standing on a position on top of the cottage here, which manipulates the assassin into airstriking our worm, but because they're in the firing line, they take a lot of damage as well and kill themselves off. So we managed to complete this mission by getting 2 of the enemy worms to kill themselves for us, which is very pleasing.
It's very kind of them.
It is.
The CPU is generous in this game.
Yes.
Okay, now we're on to this one. It's not really scary, I would say, but I guess if you have to like reset, it's a little bit scary.
Yeah.
Our worm is anchored to the spot. We can't move. It's like artillery mode. And we have to kill 4 worms just all across the map using only grenades and some carefully placed girders. So since there's 4 worms, you would expect it to take 4 shots. We can actually do a little better and do it in 3.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
the first-
Ruffle gets that first shot. It pushes that worm to the lower grenadier, doing a little bit of damage.
13 damage we get on the middle grenadier there, but that's enough for what we want to do with them. Now, these girders I've put up the top left here stop this grenadier from attacking us, which is part of the reason we do it, but also it should act as a funnel for the next move. So let's see how we go. So yeah, not a full strength shot, that one. Okay, we're fine.
Okay,
Yeah, go.
awesome.
Grenade landed slightly out of the position I'm normally used to there, but as you can see, it knocks that grenadier onto the middle grenadier, and we do some more grave damage to them. So we managed to kill off the middle grenadier without throwing a single grenade at them.
It's very nice. It's just a freebie kill.
Yeah, mommy's boy.
Okay, and now we have a final shot. I guess, I don't know, if you haven't seen this before, just take a guess how this shot will work.
Watch this.
You have to kill this grenadier, who is really just far away from us. Nice.
There we go. Yeah, we had max bounce on for that one as well because you need it. But yeah.
Yeah. Series of bounces. It's always awesome to see that.
All right, so let's see if we can get the manip on this one, because this is an interesting one.
Yes, sir. Magic by the way.
Okay,
Might be
goody
a little
two-shoes.
late, but we'll see. Yeah, go on if you want to explain what's going
Yeah,
on.
goody two shoes. This map is quite a slog. We have to blowtorch out of this whole shoe configuration. There's some crates on top of the shoes that we have to collect. And we have an aqua sheep, so we can fly that, collect the crates, and then kill these worms. And on his first turn, Ruffle did a manip, so I think we got it. Let's see. Yes,
we got it.
So he manipulated the worms into hitting themselves, which is going to save us like a turn. And he did that just by timing his blowtorch at the right time. If you do the same move every time, you're going to get the same CPU outcome. And you have, I forget, we have like 4 frames where that's possible to get, which is, it's not bad, but it's still hard to time.
Is it 4? I thought it was less than that, but yeah.
I think I counted 4. Like we do have one cool thing about Worms Armageddon, like there are replays, which are, you can like slow them down, check which frame things happened on, things like that. It's pretty cool. And so we're torching out of the shoe.
And yeah, we're now going to use an aqua sheep to collect some of the crates that we need to give us some weapons to finish this mission off. We have time for a donation while we're setting up for that, if there's one going.
Alrighty then, here's $10 from Senshi_ZA with the message, "Greetings from South Africa. Couldn't resist donating through one of my favorite streamers. Thanks for the event and good luck to RuffledBricks with his run."
Actually, let's have another because I want to try and concentrate on this.
Yes, sir.
Alright, $10 here from Stubbsy with the message, "RuffledBricks at GDQ. Hey, that's champion. Good luck on the run, mate. Hope you took your blood and stomach pills. Yorkshire."
Pure magic, by the way. That's pure magic, by the way.
One more.
One more, $25 here from Malibu Jukebox. "So happy to see Worms Armageddon at GDQ, one of my favorite games of all time, and I'm excited to see it crushed by RuffledBricks."
Bless you. Thank you very much. Okay, so yeah, we managed to get all the crates that we needed. That's quite a scary turn, that one, because if you get the sheep wrong and end up blowing up the crates or whatever, then that's pretty much a reset.
Yeah, nicely done. That one, that is a run killer for sure. It'll, like, if you don't get the sheep and collect the crates, that's like 2 minutes lost. So
Yeah.
It's rare for us to actually like lose a run to that, but it's always like in the back of our minds.
So you can see we've got a much better selection of weapons now for this one. We used the baseball bat to kill those 2 worms off there. And now this major, it's usually the major at the top who moves on this this turn here. So he's going to line himself up to the right-hand side of the boot. And I'm going to use an airstrike to kill him off, which is relatively specific.
What's that?
We're looking at the notches on the boot and lining up our airstrike. Awesome, you got it.
I said relatively specific there because I got a complaint under one of the other marathon runs I did that said I used the phrase pixel perfect too much. And all I'll say is that, like, if you've not tried this run before, try it yourself and then you'll see just how specific a lot of these shots are.
Yeah. Oh, there was a 1 pixel margin of error on that one.
Right. So this mission is Trouble in Toy Store. This one's, I quite like this one actually. This what we do there is they've got the grenade at the beginning there just to kill the 2 worms on the left-hand side straight away. Now what we want is the captain to stand in a very specific position on the side of the teddy's ear. They have. If they don't, that's pretty much a reset, but most of the time it will happen. And we need them in that position because we're going to do the last... Actually, no, it's not the last cluster trick of the run, but one of the last ones. But this is a long-distance cluster trick we're doing here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Just going to aim it along the bandage of this teddy bear. I think that's the right angle. Eyes are playing tricks on me here. Okay, that's not the best configuration I've ever had. I think that's a reset because that's 30.
That might be a reset.
Yeah.
You might want,
39 on the
unfortunate.
captain.
That configuration doesn't happen too much. When we throw that cluster, the actual little clusterlets that shoot out are random. So that worm can actually be launched in a few different ways. You can actually get a double kill on the 2 worms if you get lucky, but it is totally down to luck.
Yeah, I haven't had one that bad for a long time, actually. Like,
Yeah, same. I almost never get that.
I think I don't know, maybe I didn't do enough nudges or the position was wrong or something, but But it's fine. We do get more weapon drops now as a result of that happening, which means you may possibly, don't want to promise anything, you may see one more holy hand grenade in this, so keep your fingers crossed if you like seeing those.
Hey. Watch this.
Okay, I heard the right number of nudges.
Okay, that's better. That's better.
Okay, nice.
Not perfect, but okay, so 10 on the captain. Let's see. I reckon I'll just do an Uzi on the captain. I don't trust the mortars to get 10 damage.
Yeah. So, like, a lot of times to clean up those worms, because usually one or two of them will survive, we have to use the mortar, the absolute weakest weapon in the game, which even if it hits dead on, it may not kill. It shoots out a couple little, like, clusterlets, but it's so weak, and it's just really unreliable. So we can literally just walk over to the captain and just shoot him directly.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. That's pure magic, by the way.
So let's have one more donation while we're going over to do that.
Hey, that's pure magic, by the way.
Here's $25 from Jason that says, one more dono before bed. Glad to see Worms getting a run. Thank you to everyone who makes GDQ possible.
Make it 2.
Alrighty, then $50 from our great friend Anonymous here. The combos and skills being displayed here are incredible. I didn't know most of this was possible, and RuffledBricks is making it look easy.
You'll regret that.
We'll talk about how you can learn how to do this run at the end, because we would very much like more runners.
Oh yeah,
game.
it's such an incredible game. Like, it seems like there should be a lot more. We have gotten some new runners. Like, there's a new category called 10 quick games, and there's also deathmatch. And 10 quick games is a little easier for new people, but yeah, for all missions specifically, we definitely need more.
Yeah, absolutely. So we haven't talked about the VIP in this mission yet, and the reason we don't is because it's pretty ineffectual. But you notice there's a scientist there. You can tell they're a scientist because they're wearing a scientist hat. And
classic scientist hat.
Classic scientist hat. They're slightly ill, so they're losing 3 health between every turn. They don't actually die as a result of that. It will level out at 1 if you go that long. But generally, we don't tend to say much about them because it doesn't matter. They're very unlikely to get killed in this mission if you do it right. So, and here's your last chance, gang, to sing along with the feel-good hit of the summer. Here's our last holy hand grenade of the run. Enjoy. And that's it. We wouldn't normally do that. Usually we use a cluster trick for that, but since we reset the mission once, we had a spare holy hand grenade going, so I thought, let's just use it.
Okay.
And last mission.
Nicely done. Last mission, Spectral Recovery. So this one, basically the premise is a crate of crucial importance is going to drop on the far left side of the map. If we just let it drop, it's going to sink into the ocean, so we have to catch it with a girder. And we first have to, like, blowtorch our way to some girders. And there's a way to do this that just involves kind of blowtorching the whole time while the 3 CPU worms remain on top. But we're going to do something different and just kind of take out the CPU worms, just because they're in our way.
Yeah, type 1 in chat, by the way, if you know what the maps here is made of, what these things are that you can see with the logo on. Right, so 2-second max bounce grenade there to knock the captain into the water, and as that happens, I'm doing a jump knock on the grenadier on the right. That kills those 2 worms off. And then this, I have to say, really infuriates the remaining captain here. They just go apoplectic with rage here, so they start dropping down the side of this, whatever it is, because they're going to come down and sort GL Phoenix out now. And this is pretty scary. We could lose the entire run as a result of this move, so let's see what he does. Ooh, that was close. Right, so last thing we need to do here.
Swing and a miss.
Yeah. So last thing we need to do here is just blowtorch the captain into the water. I say the last thing. I mean, it's the last thing we need to do to kill off the enemy worms, but that's not the condition for winning this mission. The condition is actually saving the crate that's going to fall into the water. So What happens now, because all the enemy worms are killed off, we get to take all of their turns, which saves a fair bit of time on this mission. We're then going to just grab the girder, go up to the top left of the map, set up the girder so that it can catch the crate, and then just wait until it arrives. So we can have a couple of donations just before that happens, but just to heads up to the tech, time is going to be when you see the congratulations screen after this mission. But yeah, take it away, Xenadir.
Alrighty, $20 here from our friend Anonymous once again. Hi, GDQ. Love Worms games ever since playing the OG of tactical artillery games, Scorched Earth, as a kid many moons ago with my dad. Amazing to see this level of accuracy. If I had half the skill, maybe I could have won some games. Holy hand grenade for the win! $10 here from Rusty Jones 59. Hey, from England, shout out to RuffledBricks. Absolutely loving this run. Worms Armageddon was my favorite game as a kid, but don't remember it being this easy. $5.08 here from Elflay that says, I should really go to sleep, but I just couldn't resist staying up for Worms Armageddon. The controls in the Nintendo 64 version frustrated me to no end as a child, but me and my brother still spent countless hours blasting each other to bits in it. Good times. Clunky and aggravating, but still good times.
All right, so time is coming up. We're just skipping go 6 times until the crate arrives. And once that happens, we grab the crate, and then I'm going to fade skip, and that'll be time. So here we go. One more skip go. Here comes the crate. We grab the crate. Time. And that is it. There we go. That was Worms Armageddon. All missions any % in I don't know, some amount of time. Not sure. We had to stop halfway through, so
we did have to stop. But that was a hell of a run. You got a lot of good ones. Goody Two Shoes was amazing.
Yeah.
Drop Zone.
That was good. But so should give some quick shout outs before we go. Quick shout out to everyone who's made this run the run it is. Chiefly Mablak, who has done some incredible work on routing this game over the years.
Thank you.
But also to Deadcode, to Lex, to Psychotropic, to Peachy, to everyone in the Worms speedrunning Discord server. Please do check to join that if you are interested in learning how to do speedruns of any of the Worms games. And shout out to GDQ for actually having this run. It's been really appreciated. Please do keep donating to this fantastic cause. And Mablak, anything you want to shout out? Maybe want to shout out yourself?
Sure. Yeah, you can find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Mablak with a 1 for the L, or just look up Mablak on YouTube. And if you want to learn this run, there is actually a huge document RuffledBricks has compiled. We have links to that on speedrun.com, just teaching you the run. I'm also going to be doing a video series on like just each of the missions. But yeah, shout outs, big shout out to RuffledBricks, of course. He's been amazing just running this game constantly, doing 12-hour streams. It's amazing. Psych, Toby Trigger, Charles, Corey Dex, King Hingle, all the people in the speedrunning community.
Dismal Noob as well.
Shout out to shout out to Monkey Island, who's been running the longest lasting Worms League, just called the ultimate site at tus-wa.com. Shout out to Dream Trance and Zemke for running a Chaos and Intermediate League, respectively. Just lots of people in the community who have been keeping this alive. And biggest shout outs to Cyber Shadow Steps and Deadcode for updating and maintaining the game for the past 20 years, especially Deadcode.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm at twitch.tv/RuffledBricks if you want to see me do this sort of thing on a regular basis. Okay, back to you, Xenadir.
Okay, I'll be honest with you. I had no idea the Worm series came out when it did. I'm not going to say it's old, but because I'm technically as old as it. It wasn't until I was doing research for this hosting block that I found out that Armageddon is from 1999 and was the third entry, the first being from 1995. This was an incredible run of a great series, so really appreciated for RuffledBricks to bringing it to us. I've seen so many people in chat saying, wow, nostalgia, and also shout out to Team 17 hanging out in chat. Thank you for being here. Super appreciated. I have Plenty of donations here relating to the game. I doubt I'm going to get through them all, but seriously, we've seen them all. We really appreciate you. And the time I do have, here's $5 from Tiny Tim saying, hey all, had to donate for my good friend and fellow retro speedrunner RuffledBricks. So amazing to see you on the GDQ stage. You deserve it. Shout outs also to the smooth tones of Xenadir's host. Cheers. Thank you for that. Here is $25 from Natsuko Hiragi that says, wow, I played the first Worms game on PS1 back in my childhood. The game is still lovely and I love all the fun weapons they use. One last thing to say. Hallelujah. Trying not to blast the mic there. Greetings from Germany. Thank you for that. $5 once again from our friend Anonymous. This is all I can throw your way, but I'm so happy to see this Worms run at GDQ. Easily the most impressive run I've personally seen all event. I'm sure we all want you back again, so please keep submitting and stay in touch, smiley face. Oh, I love to hear this support. $50 here from Dismal Noob that says, it's great to see Worms Armageddon on AGDQ for the first time. Thanks RuffledBricks and Mablak for such an entertaining run and the wider Worms community for keeping this game so alive for all these years. Alrighty, with that, while we get set up for the next run, we're going to take a quick break. Y'all know the drill. We will be right back. Welcome back, my friends. I hope you all got your stretches, your drinks, your cat pets in, all of the above. I've got a really good donation that just got sent up to me. It's going to take me a moment here. $20 from Hypnotoad, naturally. That says, "First thou shalt take out the holy pin, then shalt thou count to 3, no more, no less. 3 shall be the number thou shalt count, and the number of the counting shall be 3. 4 shalt thou now no count, not count, neither count thou 2, excepting that excepting that thou then proceed to 3, 5 is right out. Once the number 3, being the third number, be reached, then lobbest thou thy holy hand grenade of worms Armageddon towards thy foe, who, being naughty in my sight, shall snuff it." Okay, I'm not afraid to admit I've never actually seen the source material there, so if I butchered that, you're welcome. $40 here from Jason LaRose. Here's $40 as penance for wearing worms as a kid. Shout outs to Team 17 in the chat. Once again, shout out to Team 17. Oh, $50 here from Wilson. Okay. Donating before I go to bed. Someone tell me if this donation gets read. Can everybody let Wilson know that this got read? Everybody in chat, just make sure Wilson's aware. $30 here from Conquer. Good name. Classic game from my childhood being run at GDQ, so had to donate. Conquer, also classic. Big fan. Thank you for that. $25 here from Biltris. This run is one of the best of the whole event. I can't believe even half the runner is pulling off. Blowing my mind. Okay, I'm a big fan of this one. $10 here from Sam. My cat decided at 8 a.m. to join me and enjoy some Worms Armageddon. He insisted I donate, so here's a little something. My wife passed away from cancer last year, and anything we can do to help beat this monster disease is amazing. Amazing it is. Thank you for the $10. Thank you to your cat for guiding you to be here and watch Worms Armageddon with you. Seriously, we are all in support of you and everyone else who's going through issues with cancer, whether it be yours, friends, family. There's a community here, and we are always here to support. $50 here from HateBit. Greetings from Korea. I donate every GDQ. Love what you guys do. Thanks for hours of entertainment and for fighting the good fight against cancer. Wow, that run has gotten us a few international donations. I really love to see it. Where is everyone tuning in from? If you could send in a donation, if you want to talk in chat, anything. I love to see how big this community is, how wide it stretches. Please let us know where you are from. $25 here from Kona Rican. Have to donate for my favorite racing game of all time. The stages, the multiplayer city challenge, the achievements to unlock more of the game. Speaking of which, how long does it take to speed through unlocking everything? Probably too long to be featured in any marathon setting. Kirby Air Ride coming up. I love that I'm already getting topical donations for this. I suppose while I have a moment, I've been getting a ton of donations here. No messages attached, but I just want to shout you all out because it's very appreciated nonetheless. Danielle with $25, Sabo Tower with $20, $5 from Borgia Snake, 1 specifically, Flynn with $25, our best friend Anonymous with 20, a random puppy with 20, Sir Brosif with 25, Ross with 75, Anonymous with 25 again, Bry with $20.05. Seriously, so many donations here, so many with or without messages. Every one of them is important to supporting this cause. We see you, we appreciate you. Thank you all so much. Connor Richards with $50 here says, these events are always a great cause and a ton of fun. Keep up the fantastic work. $50 here from Toff that simply says, trans rights less than 3. App name, GB says hi, $20 donation. The message says, hi. You know, now that I'm thinking about it, since Worms started, we actually have a new round of prizes up. So if y'all have the moment, go to gamesdonequick.com, hit that prizes page. And because we're about to start hitting a Kirby game soon, there's a ton of Kirby prizes up for bid, like this Pink Dream scented candle, only $5 for that one. The Cone Kirby, $10 minimum donation. So many good things to look through. Please be sure you do. And if you're going to be donating, make sure when you're in the donations page to double check what incentives there are. Like right now, Chip and Dale Rescue Ranges is coming up real soon after my block here. We can upgrade it to all zones. We're at about $3,832 of the $6,000 needed, so we're over halfway. I definitely believe we can get there in time. And with that, so I've taken my lumps from plenty of friends when I admit this, but I grew up in prime GameCube era and have never played or seen Kirby Air Ride in my life. Until now, that is. So my literal first impression of the game is going to be in speedrun format, so it's going to be interesting. Anyways, this is Kirby Air Ride, all tracks, no duplicate rides on Wii, being run by one David J. Let's hit the track.